Alright, here we go. Shalom everybody out there. We're going to go over Proverbs 16. To man belongs the preparations of the heart, but from Yahweh is the answer of the tongue. Uh-oh, what does that mean? What we have to do and understand is Yahweh is a spirit. The Ruach is not what we probably comprehend in a lot of cases, right? The Ruach moves and makes things happen. It draws us to it. Because we can't see, probably I would submit to you because of the fallen state, because of the sinful nature and state that we have become, we don't really comprehend what all that is about. We can, the closer we get to Yahweh, the more we can understand, right? The more we read, the more that we understand the secret things, those that are hidden things, right? But if we just sit back and don't know nothing and don't want to know nothing, don't read nothing, don't believe nothing, then we're kind of blind, right? And that's where a lot of the world and churchianity is. They're blind to the fact of many, many, many things. So for us to be the light into this world and be the lamp into the world, and let Him be the lamp into our own feet where we don't stumble. If we're stumbling and falling and looking bad and looking terrible, well then what's going to happen? We're going to have problems, right? All the ways of man are clean in his own eyes, but Yahweh weighs the spirits. Uh-oh. He weighs the what? He weighs what my heart says. He weighs what I think. He weighs on what my pastor, no, and no, right? He doesn't weigh what your pastor told you that was the truth. He doesn't weigh on what you think life goes. He doesn't even weigh what you think it ought to be. Well, it's just not fair. I think that we all should be able to drink lollipops and popsicles and drink whiskey and get high and smoke dope and eat anything we want to. Well, that don't matter much, right? You ever go to court and say a line like that? Usually don't get over, right? It's my car and I'll drive it if I want to. If I want to get drunk driving to a tree, it's my car. In a way, you got a point. You bought it, you've paid for it, and all that. The problem is when you become a menace to somebody else, right? Once we let sin enter in, even into our judicial system, we have problems, right? We have problems, child support, alimony, all these things that start coming and weighing and being twisted and turned is because sin and what we have let in. Instead of having true judges, instead of having true men of Yahweh, instead of having appointed men of Yahweh, we have people that a lot of them don't know the Bible. They will not use the Bible as what they use to correct or condemn or let people loose, right? And the people that are sitting there before them are not using the Bible as anything either. They're using that same thing as, I'm clean in my own eyes, right? Right here. All the ways of man are clean in his own eyes. Sadly, most people that you talk to, especially churchianity, Christianity people, they're clean. I mean, they're smoky whistle white clean. They're like cleaner than the board in their own eyes. They're just white. There ain't a sin amongst them. Right? Lie, cuss, steal, lie about each other, gossip about each other. They're not in church on the right day. They're not assembled together. They don't keep the Sabbath. And that's just the beginning. Eat what they want, do what they want, live the way they want, and eating that shrimp, talking all the time about, oh, this shrimp is good. Clean in your own heart. Clean in your own eyes. But Yahweh weighs the spirits. Commit your works to Yahweh, and your plan shall be established. Commit your what? You're sitting on the pew singing in the choir? Commit your cleaning the toilets? Commit your pulling grass out of the parking lot? Commit your what? Commit your works to Yahweh, and your plan shall be established. What works do you think that might possibly be? I submit to you your works, your mitzvah, the commandments, what he told you to do. See, we as children just do what children are told. If we're told in the instructions to do nice to others, to take care of the widows, to be kind, to love one another, to love our neighbor as ourselves, then we are really supposed to do that. But the minute we go and say, well, you know, I got this much, and I think I am owed this, and I think they should all just go get jobs and do what they should do for themselves. Well, right? Yahweh has made all for his purpose, and also the wicked for the day of evil. Right? Like it or not, there has to be choices made. And some people let people hang themselves, so to speak. You know what I'm saying? And actually, I've been a partaker of this. I will let you live your life and do what you got to do. I will warn you, if you do this in my house, if you do this, if you do this, and if you do this, you will not be welcome here. If you do this and this and this, I will lock the door. If you do this and this and this, when you come back, I will make sure I will change the locks and you won't get in. And if need be, we'll take it further and further. I don't want you here. Now, same thing with Yahweh. The same thing with his word. Do this and do this and do this. He's not going to say, you better do it or you're getting the shotgun blast. That's not love. You're going to follow your spouse around with a shotgun in her back or his back. That's not love. That's control. Right? If I say, hey, I don't care for you flirting with people and you're flirting with everybody we run across, we go to eat and I'm like, hey, you know, let's go eat. And we're sitting down at the table and every guy goo-goo-eyed and all that. We're going to have a problem, right? Well, if Yahweh says he's jealous, every new doctrine that comes by, you want to go run to that church. You know, Billy Graham's coming to town. And I've heard great things about this. And I've heard all I got to do is go down to the altar. I thought you did that 5 years ago. All I got to do is go down the altar at Billy Graham's crusade and give my life. And it'll all be good. Oh, you know, I heard there's this new age group in town, and they believe in J-Guy, and they believe in this, and they believe in that. Let's go down there and get baptized. I was baptized 5 years ago. Yeah, I was, but I really think this is something else. Oh, have you been to the First Baptist Church? The Baptist Church is having a pig roast, and they want to get together, and I think I'm going to get baptized afterwards. You've been baptized 3 times, 3 different doctrines. What are you doing? You really like the food that much? Just go there and eat the food. Right? People go into doing things because of their heart's desires. Right? Which leads me to, he will give you your heart's desires, but that don't mean he's going to give you your adulterous whatever situation, right? That means he's going to give you your heart's desires if you're after his heart, right? I don't think he's going to bring, if you're an enemy to him, he's going to bring your righteous enemy before you so you can chop them up and make them dog meat, right? We have to be very careful in what we, you know, what we're taught and what we believe. And, well, 2 or 3 are gathered in the name of whoever. Well, what's the name and why do you believe? Right? If we believe in Yahweh and we believe in Yeshua and we keep the Sabbath and we do the things rightly and it's actually in his will, then yes, he will be there. But if we're doing magical witchcraft pharmacia things, then no, probably not going to happen. This is why people say prayers and do things and nothing happens, because they're not doing them correctly. Right? By kindness and truth, wickedness is pardoned. And in the reverence of Yahweh, one turns away from evil. When a man's ways please Yahweh, he makes even his enemies to be at peace with him. Whoa! When a man's ways please Yahweh, he makes even his enemies to be at peace with him. Wow. So if you're pleasing Yahweh, your enemies are even going to be happy with you. They're even going to have peace. Right? They may not be so happy. They may not, but they're going to have peace with you. Right? Better is a little with righteousness than a large income with outright ruling. A man's heart plans his way, but Yahweh establishes his steps. Right? You cannot be clumsy oath, silly face if you're really following Yahweh. You can't be. Because he said he establishes your steps. I take those things literally. When you're walking and you're talking and you're doing things, if you are not established in your steps, what does that say for you? How can you be the light of the world if you're falling and flopping and looking like a clown? If I walk down the street and I fell in the middle of the street, everybody in my neighbors are going to go, is he drunk? Is he okay? Did he trip? What happened? But if I walk down the street and they don't see me stumble, they don't see me do anything, and I take it literally. It's not just spiritual, because a lot of people don't see you spiritually. They see you walking down the road. They see you at work. Right? So if you're doing what you're supposed to do, you will be established in your steps, and people will say, I want to be like that. I want to be like that guy who's never had an accident. I want to be like that guy that's never fell off the ladder. I want to know why that guy never gets hurt. I want to know why that guy can go through everything and there's not a scratch on him. I want to be like that guy. Right? Hey, what's up with that guy? Oh, what is that on your head? Oh, Yahweh. Oh, is that why you're the way you are? And that's when you're not braggadocious and talking about, oh no, I just never trip. I never trip because Yahweh establishes my steps. Now with that being said, are you going to stub your toe? Are you going to get up in the middle of the night and jam your foot on something? Right? Are we perfect? But if we are striving, how many times have you done that when you was in the wrong? How many times have you said something, done something, not repented of it, went to bed, or on your way there, or got up and stubbed your toe? How many times you went to bed, prayed, felt shalom, felt peace, and got up in the middle of the night in pure darkness, went to the bathroom, came back, nothing happened to you? Next night, you're in an argument, fighting, arguing, spouse, whoever, kids, whatever, stub your toe, hit your leg, run to the door, and fall down, and then, oh, what happened? Was you in the will of Yahweh? Right? A man's heart plans his way, but Yahweh establishes his steps. 16:9. Stand on it, believe it, or don't. An oath is on the lips of the sovereign. In right ruling, his mouth trespasses not. Right? To trespass. A right scale and balances are of Yahweh. All the weights in the bag are his work. To rightfully rule, to rightfully balance things. It is an abomination for sovereigns to commit wickedness, for a throne is established by righteousness. And we know this. We talk about it. When a president does something wrong, it's an abomination. What happened with Clinton? And he lied about it, and then turned around and then found out. It's an abomination for someone in power, for someone to be a king, for someone to be a sovereign, and to lie and cheat and steal, because it brings down the nation, right? Because everybody goes, oh, well, how can I be right if they ain't even going to be right? Your king, your president, your sovereign is even going to be wrong. So, what's the point? Righteous lips are the delight of sovereigns, and they love him who speaks what is straight. I mean, isn't that the delight to everybody? Don't you like to hear the truth? Even if it hurts you sometimes, don't you rather hear the truth than some lie, some story, some tale? Hey, what's the car look like? Oh, it looks like blah, 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 blah. You mean you run it in the ditch and it's full of mud? Oh, well, just on one side. The sovereign's wrath is a messenger of death, but a wise man appeases it. Right? A wise man is going to get right with Yahweh. He's going to look for every avenue of approach, every mitzvah, every command to not end up in death. But the fool does what? Doesn't matter. Lie, chill, steal, whatever. Doesn't matter. In the light of a sovereign's face is life, and his delight is like a cloud of the latter rain. How much better is it to get wisdom than gold, and to get understanding is preferable to silver. The highway of straight to turn away from evil. He who guards his life watches over his way. Understanding. Have you ever not understood things and it just drives you crazy? Which would you rather have? The understanding of something or a bar of silver? A bar of silver, you might come buy this and do that and do that, but at the end of the day, you still don't understand what that was about. And when you go to bed, you still don't understand it. What did the bar of silver do you any good when you go to bed scratching your head wondering what that true wisdom was? Right? The highway of the straight is to turn from evil. He who guards his life watches over his way. If you guard your life, if you want life, you will watch what you're doing. You will watch what you're saying. You will watch what so say the Yahweh. If you don't care, death means nothing to you, let's do whatever, right? Let's turn on a game, let's live life, let's watch TV, let's chuck it up, let's go barbecue a pig, let's do whatever. But what's that going to get? You know, what's that going to get? And the gaming world, the gaming time, the technology is, if you're not careful, it's a stealing of your time. We're supposed to get up and talk to Yahweh. We're supposed to read about Yahweh. We're supposed to, throughout the day, talk of Yahweh. Before we go to bed, we talk of Yahweh. Do we do that? We're going to be held accountable for it. It's a commandment. It's not a suggestion. It's commanded we do this. Right? So when we stand before our Maker, is PlayStation, is iPod, is iPhone number 97, is S8 Gorilla Glass going to be the answer? Oh look, I can take my phone and throw it in water. I can drop my phone down flights of stairs and woo woo woo. It didn't break into pieces. It might have been better off if it did. You might have spent a little more time reading scripture and talking about Yahweh and sharing with your friends. You know, if you look like this all the day long, what good, what gain, what treasures have you got? Before destruction, pride, and before a fall, a haughty spirit. How many people you've seen, even boxers, even fighters, that haughty spirit right before they fall? Right? Ronda Rousey, perfect example. All on top of the world, making movies, UFC, #1 fighter, blah, blah, blah. All haughty, nobody can defeat me. Boop. Off the radar, done, finished. Where is she now? How many movies are calling now? How many people are talking about her now? Other than how far she's fell. Right? Scriptures are true. Closing up here, better to be lowly in spirit with the poor than to divide the spoil with the proud. It's better for you to be with the lowly in spirit with the poor than to divide the spoil with the proud. Because what are you going to do with the money? You're with a bunch of haughty people and they're all worried about how much money they got in their face. What are they going to do with it? Does anybody care about the poor, the widow, the orphan? Anybody care about them, the fatherless? Any of those mitzvahs? No, they're worried about what they can go buy. You know, what gaming system, what new phone, what new device, whatever. If we're not careful, we let devices control us, and we're the robots to the device. Right? I used to carry a phone on me, but I had reasons to, but I used to carry a phone all the time anymore. You know, if you're not careful, it's a device. It's something that controls you, what you do, your mindset. You're in the middle of a prayer, in the middle of a thinking, in the middle of a thought, in the middle of doing something, and you change your whole time because someone called. And that's fine if it's emergency. But if it's just somebody calling out of the blue to talk about nothing, and you was in the middle of a project for Yahweh, or other people, or in the middle of Africa or somewhere doing something, it might not be a good thing. So, till next time, read Proverbs, read those scriptures. Understand what so saith the Yahweh. May his countenance shine upon you. May he grant you peace. Shalom, everybody. Yahweh bless.